We've seen the remains of two anti-apartheid activists. Now, they are said to be reburied this morning. It was happening at the Ga-Maupa village near Modjadjiskloof in Limpopo. Alex Mashapa, Matsepane and Solomon Mankopane Mawasha, both members of the United Democratic Front. They were executed by the apartheid government. They buried as paupers back in 1986. Their remains were exhumed earlier in March for the reburial, of course, that is taking place. We're monitoring the story as well. Let's get some more details on that. Let's go live to SABC News reporter Pimani Baloyi at the Ga-Maupa village. Pimani, good afternoon. We obviously seen what's transpired, the significance of this reburial, what it also means for the family at large in terms of healing, the local community as well, given the broader struggle against apartheid. What are those sentiments being reflected?
Good afternoon, Lizelle, and good afternoon to our viewers. It's been quite an emotional reburial service that started around 10 a.m. today. Right now, as I speak to you, they're about to call the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development to that podium to address people who have taken their time to be part of this service. Earlier, we saw the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Ga-Maupa, also addressing mourners, stating that he is here in his capacity as an ANC NEC member. But Lizelle, sentiment is that for years this community wanted to know what happened to Mr. Alex Matsepane and Mr. Solomon Mawasha, and finally they know that they were killed by the apartheid government, and they are relieved that finally their families now will be able to lay them to rest at a place where they will be able to visit. Earlier we spoke to Mr. Matsepane's family, which was also grieving but stating that they are now relieved. Now I'm going to bring in the daughter of Mr. Mawasha, Mrs. Mawasha. Sisi, thank you so much for your time. I understand you were born in 1984, just a year or a few months before your father was arrested by the apartheid government and later hung in those gallows at Limpopo. Today you get to bid him farewell. His mortal remains have been brought in. Ministers are here to comfort you and your family. How are you feeling?
I'm too much. I'm relieved. I'm overjoyed. Or at least Papa got lega ke nyaka bolelena ke tloba ke tseba hore ke ya kae hore ke khone ho bolela le yena.
A re bolele ka hore o dile byang, o tseba hore o diretseng ka papa we. Like, what were you told happened to your father as you were growing up?
Ke go la be ke no fela ke go ra papa ga go ba moswere o ile tronkong o hlokofetse mara ke go dile ke na le bokoko batswadi ba gage. The father and the mother, they were both alive, and then ban tlhokomela le di boragadi ka be ba le gona ka moka. I never feel gore a ke na motswadi. Ke no go ka re lo ka moka di berele shapo
ba ba go botsa eng ka papa go ge o la some of the memories bona ka re o misitse go tseba eng ka ena?
Ke misitse go tseba monna yo eleng go be a lokile a khera ka lapa la gabo, monna ba robe le energetic, monna ba rone a hlalefile, monna eleng go be a rata le thuto, monna eleng go be a rata sports gape.
Ka March ba letsetse re ba lisha mo ba rileng o bolailwe gona, o fila byang, o kwileng the way setlogo se se diile o fila byang ka jona?
Ke ile ka kwa bohloko bolela nnete cause nne ke no kwa gore batho ba bolailwe mara ne ke sa tsebe o re in such way, so ke ile ka kwa bohloko a ke nya go bolela maka.
Ba re ba bolailwe byang?
Ba re ba ba hengile ba re ba ba hengile a se hlogo le gona.
Okay. That's the daughter of the Mr. Mawasha. Let me bring in Lizelle before I rap for you what she was saying. Somebody who actually grew up with him. At the time he says he was 13, but he knew of that protest that led to the past arrest, who also happens to be the nephew of Mr. Mawasha. Thank you so much for your time. Reburial, how are you feeling today? Finally, their remains are here.
Yeah, actually we waited for approximately 40 years to get these remains. We just thankful to the Minister of Justice and her department, and also the government itself and other stakeholders who made sure that we get these remains, because my grandfather passed on in approximately in 2012. He was worried that he wanted just to see the remains, because we got the the information in 1996 during the TRC commission to say those people were hanged. We were not aware that they are dead. We only knew in 1996 that they were dead. So we tried several times linking with the government so that they can help us to exhume those people so that they can come and be buried here. But we didn't have luck. But this time around, we hope that it will be a closure. Myself, actually, to me, it will be a closure because I last saw him in 1986 while he was...
I wanted us to talk about your last memories briefly, Mr. Stanley Maimele. You knew these two men, but you had a last moment with Mr. Mawasha. What happened then, and briefly?
Yeah, my uncle... Mankopane Solomon Mawasha took me to Ga-Maupa Hospital. It was around 1986 February, if I'm not mistaken. And after that, I never saw him because I was after that when he brought me to hospital, I just asked him that is he going to take me. He told me that he will take me after a week, but I never saw him up until today.
What do you know about that protest that led to their arrest? I know you were 13 at the time. What are some of your memories? What did you learn?
Those guys, those men, Alex Matsepane and Solomon Mawasha, were the leaders of the UDF in this place. So they were defying the local authorities. So it's where the problem started because they used to boycott shops at Modjadjiskloof. They used to mobilize people, and the apartheid police didn't want that. It was long time that they were after him. They were after them, and then they caught them in 1985. Yeah, they were actually given a bail, and in 1986, around June 1986, they were convicted and they were sentenced to death on the 5th of December, the very same year, 1986.
Thank you so much. That Mr. Stanley Maimele. You know what, Lizel, what we've been hearing during this entire service is that to South Africans and to so many, this might just be names, but they are locals who actually remember, like you've heard Mr. Maimele telling stories of how his uncle was actually a human being who had responsibilities towards him. But earlier, Lizel, when I was speaking to his daughter, she spoke about how she was robbed of a loving father, but she's grateful that she had his parents who were there to raise him, stating that today she is relieved that she will be able to know where his grave lies. Lizel?
Well, Pimani Baloyi, thank you for bringing us that update. Of course, we are just going to keep an eye as to how that continues, especially as the minister said to also address, those gathering there for healing at large. Pimani Baloyi, our reporter, just bring us those live updates from Ga-Maupa village. It's near Modjadjiskloof. It is where the remains of anti-apartheid activists Alex Mashapa, Matsepane and Solomon Mankopane Mawasha, of course, will be reburied today.